Hey Miss Frankenstein, I was wondering if you can come to my pastry shop sometime?
Sure, Dracula. Do you have any work for me?
Yes, there's a jar of blood pudding on the top shelf and I can't reach it.
Sure. That will be $1.
Oh, but I don't have any dollars. Business is really bad.
Oh no, that bad? I need to come and visit your store sometime.
Hi, Dracula. How are you? What happened? Why is business really bad?
Nobody wants to eat my pastries anymore. I've cleared up everything. There's just this jar of blood pudding and I was thinking of eating it all by myself.
That's strange. We undead people love pastries, especially blood pudding.
But the undead in our community are very uncertain about the future. That's why they are holding on to their dollars for tomorrow, instead of spending them on pastries today. Many of us have lost our jobs and simply can't afford to buy. The competition from outside larger retail chains has made things worse. I had to lay off my own workers and now I'm out of work, too. It's really tough.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear this. But I think I may have a solution for your problem.
Really?
Yes, you can join our self-help group.
What will that do?
You know, in such difficult times, communities, self-help groups, and local governments around the world have tried to keep workers like me from losing our jobs. Similarly, they have tried to keep local business owners like you from going out of business. It's called stimulating activity.
I see. And how have they stimulated activity?
They have floated their own local currencies. It's called script. It's pretty simple.
So in your self-help group, you float your own currency?
Yes, we call it the zombie dollar. It's the currency of our undead community.
So what is this zombie dollar going to do for me?
Well, you can continue making pastries and blood pudding, and members of our community can pay you for them in zombie dollars.
That's interesting.
And in return, you can buy stuff from us in zombie dollars. That means that I can bring down your blood pudding for the price of a zombie dollar.
Wow!
Let's finish talking outside.
A large number of communities now use scrip as a way to keep business activity local. You see, the dollar is accepted in other places, so when investors feel like they have lost faith in our community, they can take their dollars elsewhere. But our zombie dollar can't go anywhere else.
Yes, and zombie dollars aren't accepted in the larger retail stores.
Exactly. So members of our community who have zombie dollars prefer to buy from local business owners like you instead of the chain stores.
And that way, our community can always have a minimum level of demand for our pastries and blood puddings and our services. But tell me, Miss Frankenstein, how is the zombie dollar different from the dollar?
Well, the dollar has the power of the government behind it, and only the government can float it.
Whereas we, as a community, float the zombie dollar.
Yes, there was a gentleman called Lord Keynes. He's in a coffin far away in England.
Why isn't he undead like us?
Oh, he was a good guy, and good guys rest in peace.
I see. What about this Lord Keynes?
Lord Keynes said there is always a point in time in a dollar economy when we, ordinary citizens, feel like there aren't enough dollars. We can't produce dollars when we need them, and we can't use just anything else as dollars.
Why do we run out of dollars?
As you were saying earlier, people who have dollars don't want to spend them. They're uncertain about our future, so they want to hold them. A dollar will be acceptable tomorrow as well. It may even be able to buy more goods and services. Or some people just lose their jobs and don't have dollars to spend.
So why doesn't the government float more dollars?
Ideally it should, but our politicians are all crazy. They think that the government should not spend too much or print more dollars even when we run out of them. Fearmongers claim Fed's expansionary monetary policy, which puts more money into the economy, will lead to rampant inflation, and fiscal expansion through government spending will force default and turn us into Greece number 2.
But that's absurd.
It is. Unfortunately, fearmongers can be very persuasive, and neither one of these two options sounds very appealing to the politicians who believe it.
What idiots. I intend to pay them a visit. All the same, Miss Frankenstein, what is the incentive for members of our community to hold and spend our zombie dollars?
Well, Lord Keynes also said that if we can persuade everyone to treat green cheese as money, it would be the same thing as money.
So our zombie dollars are green cheese?
Yes, as long as you business owners accept zombie dollars as payment for goods and services, and as long as we workers accept zombie dollars as payment for our labor, members of our community have the incentive to hold and spend zombie dollars.
Interesting. But why should members of our community spend zombie dollars when dollars are hoarded? Why don't we hoard zombie dollars?
Well, our zombie dollar is a special type of scrip called stamp scrip. Every week, one must have one zombie dollar stamped. Stamping a zombie dollar costs a cent for each zombie dollar. That way, holding on to zombie dollars for a long period of time has a cost.
Yes, one has to pay to have them stamped.
That's right. That's why zombie dollars change hands fast.
Yes. And that's why there is always a certain amount of activity in our local economy. What a novel idea.
Well, it isn't really a new idea, Dracula. It goes all the way up to the days of Silvio Gesell, and our Lord Keynes had read Silvio Gesell. There was another gentleman called Irving Fisher. He wanted the government to make stamp scrip national.
I see. But are community currencies legal, Miss Frankenstein?
Federal law permits private notes as long as they do not claim to be legal tender nor promise redemption in money. Most scrip is not illegal, but government laws and policies often discourage its use. In the post-Depression era in the United States, barter exchanges and self-help scrip were often challenged by new laws. Sometimes, companies paid workers in their own company scrip, which was redeemable at company stores. This was made illegal.
So how widespread are community currencies?
Following the global economic crisis of 2008, community currencies are in use throughout the globe. There are over 2,500 different local currency systems operating worldwide.
Yes, I've heard of the Ikaka hour. Each Ikaka hour is worth an hour of work by a member of the community. It says in Ikaka, we trust.
That's right, Dracula. Local currencies are all about community trust.
Recently, I've heard of Seedstock in Vancouver. You can earn Seedstock by committing to sponsor nonprofit initiatives of your choice. Seedstock is accepted in local stores. This helps Seedstock circulate, and it also supports nonprofit initiatives.
The Econ department at UMKC also tried something similar. The faculty floated the Buckaroo, which students could earn by putting in community service. Students had to pay a tax in Buckaroo to the department, which is really why they agreed to go for community service in the first place.
Yes, students are very lazy. I've also heard of the Bitcoin.
Yes, the Bitcoin was developed by an anonymous programmer in 2008 and is mined by cracking computer codes, which requires computing power. Payments are processed via specialized private computers, and transactions are recorded in the public ledger.
It's very popular.
This Bitcoin became popular in large because of a public sentiment of annoyance with the global monetary system. The Bitcoin is not a stable currency, however. Its value has been subject to severe fluctuations. That is because it has attracted speculators in the market and is used for speculation more often than for buying real goods.
Yes. I heard some people made a lot of money speculating in Bitcoins. Governments, including the US, are pretty concerned about it. Why is that?
Well, Firstly, it's a speculative vehicle and a bubble. Secondly, law enforcement authorities have uncovered a number of illegal operations conducted using bitcoins. They're nervous that there may be many more shady dealings that might still be around.
But there is talk that the Bitcoin is the future currency of the world.
Yes, I'm very skeptical about that. The supply of bitcoins is increased by cracking computer codes, which become progressively harder to crack. Therefore, the supply increases at a decreasing rate.
And no one can control the supply of Bitcoin?
That's right. So, in times of crisis, when we need more liquidity,
The supply of Bitcoin may not respond adequately.
yes, the developers of Bitcoin had their monetary theory all wrong. They thought money supply should be limited, and they did not think that this would perpetuate unemployment.
That way, our zombie dollar is superior to the Bitcoin?
Yes, we can always put more zombie dollars in circulation when needed.
So how do I obtain zombie dollars to pay you to bring down my jar of blood pudding?
Well, you can teach me how to hunt.